Okay, so let's talk about combustions. This is the beginning of one, and this is one that's happening more. I think the left hand is more finished off, as you see, it's like really dark in there. So the skin has, and I didn't feel any of this happening. So the pineal gland gets hot, and you feel that, but the body makes changes, and it gets rid of skin that is sitting over your electrical areas. So these areas have glue that secretes out into it in the walls all the way down in this area too. But when it combusts, it forms a bed of DNA, which you can see like little dots there where like the skin is like being changed. Those dots raise up and become like bumps, and those bumps don't allow any of that glue in the area. So when I touch that area over there, it's smooth, stays smooth. But this one over here is still sticky because it hasn't done that. So far, the back of the legs have done it. Both of my back of my legs have done it. And one of my arms. And then my hands are doing it, but the feet have not. The feet still feel like there's, electricity going through it. And the shocking is still happening. But it hasn't created like what's over there. Eventually they all do it, and then it shuts the glue out and it doesn't let the glue come back in. All right, now here, these get hot. These two right here, this whole canal gets hot, but it sloughs out the glue that's out here in the skull. It's like a whole glued up chassis. Like all this shit is just glued up, man. None of this shit is. People try to tell you it's just a third eye, but it's really everything. Like the teeth, the gums, all this shit. You can mouthwash with turpentine to bring these more electrical. So when you close it up and this comes up, it does what it's supposed to do. But yeah, it's all glued. All right, here you got glue in your area. So you put turpentine here and turpentine there. In front of that and back of that. So I started here because this is tougher. At first, what it does is it itches real bad, and then it burns also. But then after that, it doesn't burn or itch anymore. It just stays hot. So that's the same thing. You just got to undo them. And then when they get undone, they stay on. And you keep it on, and it stays on. And then it doesn't. So, yeah, you want to put turpentine in the base of this area, and in the base of this area right before that. Then in this area, you want to take something like a shop towel and put apple cider vinegar on it and run that into that. But the wetness doesn't need to be on the ring, because if it does, it might create a rash. The skin inside of it is tough, and it has a chakra in there. So you're basically undoing the chakra from this side, and the inside. And it makes this grow. All right, so combustion, turpentine, this area right here combusts. It makes it to where you can push this like a tab, and you push it like, and it turns the chakra on. This right here, once it combusts, it makes this active, and this stays scabbed over for like a few days. It doesn't seem like a normal. All this sloughing lasts for like 24 hours each time, and it just comes out glued skin. But this here is very painful in comparison to it, in comparison to this even. And it's even as painful as this gets hot. But when this heals back, you can push this and it turns this on. So yeah, it's very, we have an interesting body. But yeah. And then inside of the ear is pleasure centers form that are like DNA bumps. So if you put something in there, like a Q-tip, and you run it against it, it's just like, whoa. So we're like walking ecstasy bombs. And then, there's no wonder why you got liquor stores on all the corners and drugs everywhere. It's because we're like super high DMT, living in a fantasy world. And the higher you get is the reason why they compare this woman to cocaine and stuff. It's because you get so high that the dreamscape fantasy world becomes reality, in short. So that's what you got to do, is you got to indulge your fantasies basically and make it real, because it is real. It's just we're just shut out from this fantasy world. And the more you do all this, the more everything becomes alive. The more you get the ears undone, the more you see them. They start expressing themselves more. They become more animated. And it is what it is. So, combustion, DMT triggering, walking in the sun, all of that. And get ready for the real fun. Stay tuned for more Grimnasty TV. And stay awake.